Websites at their core are simply a series of pages, with each page displaying content. And Deco Network's content management system, everything really revolves around widgets. So the widgets are a type of content, and Deco Network has built over 30 plus widgets for us to add to a page and then manipulate it to get the look that we're striving for. Now, before we add a widget to a page, we want to add a row/column container. So I'm going to add a one row. Actually, let's make it two. Let's make it 2 columns, 1 row. Then we're going to come over to our widgets and we're going to select some type of content we want to bring over. So let's add a heading, which is typically a one line of text. So I can make this whatever I want. Get your custom t-shirts, for example. Now, every widget is different in the fact that it revolves around displaying something unique. So in this case, it's a one line of text. If I were to add a button, for example, it's a button, as yes, you might think. If I wanted to add an image, I'll come down to images, I'll drag it onto the page and drop it. There's my image. Okay. Now, so these are 3 different types of widgets. When you go into a widget settings, you will see all these different columns up here, and it can get a little overwhelming. Let's simplify it. These first 2 columns are unique to each type of widget. So this heading, if I come in the design, it's asking me what font do I want to use? Well, can use any font. Let's use this alternative one. What do I want the size of the font to be? What do I want the line height? The line height being if it's stacked on top of one another, is it double spaced or single? What's the boldness I want it to be? So make it 600 becomes more bold. Do I want the letter spacing? I can control the word spacing. Do I want it all uppercase, lowercase? I'll just make it none. And you can see that it's manipulating the text look. If I go to a button, I can do similar stuff because I'm still using the text and I can manipulate it. But really what I'm doing is I'm choosing what's the background color, what's the hover color. It's unique to a button. If I go to the image, go to the design, do I want to add an effect to it? Do I want to make it grayscale? Do I want to turn down the brightness? I have a lot of different choices I can make here. So the rule is the first 2 columns to a widget are unique to that widget. Everything from background to advanced is always the same. So you're really manipulating these 2 and then you're changing some settings on these others. If I come to a so let's do this. Let's make everything right aligned. So with this image, I can come into layout properties, alignment. Actually, let's go left alignment. Come to the button, layout, alignment, left. And this is all ready. So once you have learned the simple background properties, the layout properties, and really that's it. It comes down to these 2. Responsive properties is what device do I want to show it on? Most of the time you're going to make it all, but sometimes you might hide it from a device. Okay, so something to remember. We want to clone as much as possible. I can clone a widget. I can clone an entire row. Undo that. But I cannot clone a column. So I can't clone all of this. What I can do is add a column, 1 row, 1 column in here, drag the content into that row, and then I can clone this whole row and move it to the other column. Okay, so you can, whenever you have content together, it's a good idea to put it in a row. just using the columns themselves, they just don't have the capabilities of an actual row. Now, let me undo that. The reason why you really want to copy is to create continuity and the consistent look. And one of the bigger things is you're going to be using a lot, again, layout properties. So the layout properties really revolve around what is the margin and the padding. Now, images are unique, so let's go to the button. Margin, it's just like a row. What the space outside of the blue. So, and you always want to use custom. So I can change this to 50, for example, and you see it added space outside of it. Let's make it 25. Let's make the top also 25. And let's align this center. Okay. The padding is within the blue. Now with this, it's going to be kind of the same. But if I wanted to add 20, again, it's just kind of creating a gap so you don't see it so much here with the padding. A better place to use padding would be on this entire row. So we have more space around it. So I could pad it, for example, 2%, and it creates space around the whole thing. And because I did that, let's just go ahead and give it a shadow effect. And now you can see that padding created space around the whole border. If I had added margin, it wouldn't have allowed me to do that. It would have been completely different. This image, let's align it center. If I want to add more space down here, I could come into the margin, bottom, custom. Let's add a little bit more, 20. Okay. And this heading, let's also align it center. And that's all I really need right now. So your layout, you really want to control the padding, the margin, and whenever you're using the margin, definitely use custom. And the alignment. Okay, now that I'm happy with this, I'm just going to clone it. I'm going to drag it over to here, and we're still in the same row. And then on the different devices, we see what it's going to look like. And if you saw the row column video, you can come in here and you can decide the way that this all stacks on the different devices. So on the phone, it's naturally going to stack. Let's go ahead and stack it on the tablet. So if we move to the tablet mode, it's stacked. And from a widget standpoint, if I didn't want to show it on a device, so let's say we're on the phone, and let's say we just think the image is too much. It's taking up too much space. I could always click on it, responsive properties, and hide it. So I can, within the responsive properties, I can choose not to show a widget on a certain device. It's different than the way it works on the row settings. Okay. Come back over. So really the gist of it is once you get your widget onto the page, you're going to affect the way that it looks primarily through the first two columns. You might apply a background or a shadow to it, but a lot of the time you're going to add margin or padding, similar to how you would with the row. You cannot put a widget over top of another widget. I cannot stack widgets on top of one another. So it is very important to realize that if you ever want to do something similar, kind of like that, you're going to use a background image for your row, and then everything can sit on top of it. Let me definitely undo that. Again, there's over 30 plus widgets here. Once you've dragged them onto the page, you just have to configure the way, again, it looks. Let's try one more. Let's just do a blank product listing, for example. So when we list blank products, if we're going to do the apparel, I can choose a category, for example. Let's just choose t-shirts. When I actually display the products, I don't think I have many at the moment here. What do I want it to look like? Do I want to show the name? Sure, I'll show it above. Do I want to show the code? Sure, I'll show it above. When I show, how many lines do I want it to be? Well, I want the line height to be 1.5, so that creates a little space. Do I want this line around the box? No, I don't. Do I want to show the colors? Yeah, I like them. And I like them below, but let's make them bigger. Let's round them. So everything you would have to use to custom code is now, again, just a series of variables that we are configuring. Show below for the product sizes. There we go. So again, you really can manipulate the way a widget looks and acts. The last part of this that I want to go over are some of the major widgets being in these listings and categories. So if you're going to be pushing blank t-shirts or printed t-shirts, you're going to use either the blank product or the decorated product listing. So I just did the blank product listing. I could do the same thing with the decorated product listing, but I don't have any pre-decorated products at the moment. If I list the categories, just show the t-shirts. Okay, and we'll do the category name above. When I use this category listing, and we'll go to preview, and if the customer selects the category, it then takes them to the product page and has already selected this category. So if you're pushing blank products, this products page is the page that everybody's going to be funneled to. Okay? And let's just try manipulating this page for a second. So let's drag this over to this column side. If I come to widgets, we have a special blank product filter widget. This blank product filter widget, I would use it for on all devices but the phone. It's just not, it's too big for the phone. So I'm going to hide it from the phone. Oops, I did the opposite. I only showed it on the phone there. So let's hide it on that. Let me save and refresh. So on the phone, we're not going to use the filter. And then this is, instead, when we get to the phone, we're going to use this category dropdown. And what we want to do is not use it on every other device. So it's an either or. We're going to use the filter tool here, and we're going to use the drop-down categories for the phone. So let's save that. We'll come back over to here. So let's, again, we use the blank product categories to list product categories. I'll select the category. It takes me to the products page, and it's already selected the categories I've done. So what's important to get away from this is the fact that the product and design listing widgets, these blank product widgets, correlate with this products page. And you can see the blue icon to make it special and stand out. The decorated products correlate with the decorated product listing and categories. The design listing and design categories correlate with the designs page. So again, they are unique in that sense that they link to one another. And if you use a category listing, it's going to take them to this page to use the blank or decorated or design listing widget. Hopefully this all makes sense to you. Again, widgets are just types of content. We don't really need to custom code anything. We just need to configure the variables to make it look and act the way we want. Hopefully you find this video helpful. Let us know if you have any questions regarding website design. Thank you.